Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to this week's homebrew vlog. Thank you for joining and watching, and stick around. Get yourself a nice cold homebrew or a beer, whatever you've got, and let's dig in. I don't have a lot for you this week, but I will try to flap my gums for 20 minutes if I can. Here we have a beer. Let's just give it a whirl. I'll tell you what it is in just a minute. Cheers. 17. Oh, not bad at all. So I think a couple weeks ago, I tried or was it last week? I can't remember. Try to carry things over from week to week so you've got something to look forward to. I brewed a Black Rock. I don't think I kept the can. Sorry about I've got a hell of a mess going on in here. I don't know if you can see it, but a Black Rock Pilsner beer kit, pre-hopped, just to try it to see what it was like. And I'm actually pretty impressed. Now, I used my yeast that I've been reusing, and I'm seriously not really counting anymore. I think we're on number 10 for the usage of this yeast in this beer. And I think number 11 is going on back here. And that's a Simple Cooper's IPA. I've been, actually caught a cold last Saturday. So I've been sick all week, and it's been a bit, not too bad, but a bit nasty. I haven't been drinking a lot and haven't really been doing much, so I haven't had a lot of time to really have anything prepared for today, but I did want to get something out for you. So that is something I just brewed up the other day. There is something while I'm thinking of it, while I'm looking at this, just off the cuff. I mean, I just thought of this right now, and I don't want to forget. If you guys are brewing beer in a, move this pot so you can see. There it is right there. See, nice grousing going on. And I've got a heat belt on because it's sort of cold down here in the basement. It's about 66, I guess, Fahrenheit down here. And for the Cooper's kits, I like to ferment them a little higher. And the yeast is capable of doing that. It's the USO5 recycled yeast that I've been brewing at about 70 Fahrenheit for all the batches I've been doing. So the yeast is used to that, and it seems to be comfortable and likes it. You can see by the action going on here that there's nobody's unhappy in there. We have a really interesting yeast conversation coming up next week, so stay tuned. I mentioned this a couple weeks, last week or a few weeks ago. Again, don't expect me to remember when I've said things, but with Corin Zenith and his he had a phone call with a yeast or biologist, and it was a very interesting conversation. I'm going to condense that down into about 5 minutes, and I'll give you a link to it, the whole conversation, next week. Okay, I can't do it this week. I've run out of time. So look forward to that. And amazing information about brewer's yeast for us brewers who want to demystify the confusion with certain topics that we talk about. And there's lots of, I don't want to call it brew lore, but I just like to get to the bottom of things. I don't just believe everything I read and everything I hear. I like to try my best to get to the bottom of stuff. And then you guys can go further, or you can, do your own research or whatever to see if you concur with what I'm telling you, because I'm not always right. But this particular instance with the yeast thing, I think we've got something nailed on. I think we've hit the nail on the head with this one. So stay tuned next week for that. But what I was trying to show you is that there's a heat belt here on there. Don't know if you guys know this, but if you need to use one of those things, there's one right here. I can just show you. I hadn't put away yet. If you need to use one of these things because your brew space is a little cool, I don't know if you know, but you can actually vary the amount of heat that comes off of these things and gets into the beer. And I've experimented with this. The higher you put it on the fermenter, the less heat will make it into the beer. And I'm presuming that because heat rises, it will only heat the upper part of the beer. And then, of course, you know, what's going on in there circulates the heat around. Whereas if you have it lower on the brew bucket, see, you can see I've got mine quite high up on here because I don't want it to get that much warmer. I just want a couple of degrees, you know. So I've got it here, and I didn't bring a flashlight. Let me see if I can grab one here quick. See what it says down there. Yeah, it's sitting at 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay. I know I don't use Celsius when I brew. I use Fahrenheit. I just prefer it. Now, if I was to move this down, and you can't see past there. Let's move that out of the way. You move it down a couple of inches, that would go up to 70 degrees Fahrenheit. So, you know, there are ways to control this. If you do use one of these, you're not stuck with whatever it just does. You can actually, you know, have some control within a couple of degrees anyway over what it does to your, you know, your brewing. Now, of course, if you have a 66 degree space to brew your beer, I think you're pretty lucky. And I think I'm pretty lucky too. It's just that I'm used to brewing at 70, and the yeast that I've been using and recycling is used to that. So I'm trying to just keep it used to what it does. That's part of, you know, the conversation that we've been having about this yeast thing. And I know that I keep going on about it, but it's so unbelievably important when it comes to brewing to know some stuff about yeast. And believe me, I got an empty space up here when it comes to this stuff. So I'm learning myself. But anyway, so, you know, you move that down on there, down more towards the middle, and you're going to get a higher temperature or higher heat transfer. So, whoops, it just fell. It fell down. Yeah, make sure your thing doesn't fall down. Mine has done that many times. So wake up in the morning, you come down and check it's sitting on the bottom of the fermenter. But anyways, so that's that. Where was I? This is a black rock. I'm still recovering from this cold. It takes the piss out of you, man. I'm telling you right now, the energy levels just go down. I've had a very, very lazy week, really. Just sitting around, talking to a couple people on Skype, you know, doing some light work around the house. Nothing really big. So, but this is that black rock I told you about that I was going to brew, and it's a Pilsner. It's actually quite good. I like it. It's clean. I used my rat trap. We're gonna from now on, I'm gonna call it a rat trap. It's that thing I showed you last week, that cylinder that is a screen, like a basket that you put some hops in, drop it in your keg, and then put your beer in there, and you can sort of dry hop your beer in the keg with that, and then you can just take it out, throw it away when it's done. So I did that with this. I actually kegged the beer, drank some of the beer, you know, figured it out how it tasted. And then this thing came, and the same day I made the video, showed you it, I actually put some hops in and dropped it into the keg. It was already carbonated and already cold, so I didn't get much hop flavor out of it. Okay? I didn't get much hop flavor out of it. And they're old hops, so I don't know whether that's got anything to do with it or not. But I can taste some of them. I can taste a little bit of hop boost from what I did. So it proves that it actually does work. Now, again, I keep bringing up his name, but we've been speaking frequently. Corin Zenith, CZ, mentioned that what he does with this hop rat trap, as I'm going to call it, is he puts the hops in some boiling water for a few minutes. And lets them sort of steep, I guess, and then kind of scoops the hops out, and then, or I think he just leaves it. I can't remember what he said. CZ, if you're watching this, can you post it down below? My memory's not very good this week. And so anyway, he kind of does a little bit of a steep first, and then pours it all into the little basket thing when it's in there. And also, he's informed me that when he's filling his keg, he actually puts the hose inside of the rat trap and fills the keg that way. And he says it actually filters the beer a little bit. ends up with a little bit of a clearer beer, filters out some of the yeast. Well, I haven't tried that yet, so I'm going to do an experiment. We're going to see if that actually works. I will take some of the beer out of my fermenter when I'm ready to keg the beer, and I'll put it in a glass and we'll look at it, and then I'll put it in and put it through the screen and let it fill, and then we'll take a sample out of that once it's carbonated. I know it's going to be chilled and it won't be perfect sample, but I'll do my best and I'll let you know what I think if that actually works. He says it does. And so there you go. Another use for this rat trap thing. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, go back to last week's Homebrew Weekly and just, sort of scroll through it and you'll find where I talk about this cylindrical screen device that's, I think, some 180 micron. I can't remember. I'm tired. Okay, so I did not do this with this beer, so this is still kind of cloudy, a little young, and I'm just drinking it because it's all I've got. It's clean, it's nice, the yeast is great, the yeast is happy, and without going into too much detail about the yeast thing, because I'm looking forward to next week and putting this together for you to really hear it from the horse's mouth. You can use this stuff over and over and over and over again until you die. I mean, you just can. And as long as it's treated properly, it doesn't get infected, you don't, wreck it. There's all these amazing things that this guy said. I mean, I listened to the interview, I've heard it already. But you guys, next week, please make sure you write it down and tune in for that, and we'll get you a link so that you can actually watch the whole video. Drinking beer when you're sick is actually not much fun. Kind of makes you feel worse. And I'm just getting over the cold. And what I've been trying to do is make sure that I'm well before Friday's broadcast. Friday night, 10 p.m. Eastern. vonlive.tv/CraigTube. Got some great tunes lined up for you and a great chat room as well. I didn't want to be sick for that. So I've been laying off the alcohol, just getting, taking it easy, getting lots of sleep, lots of water, lots of vitamins, lots of herbs, sauerkraut when you're sick. Guys, I don't know, what is it? 80% of your immune system is created in your gut, all right? And if you have bad bacteria and all kinds of crappy, you eat TV dinners and McDonald's and, whatever, you've got bad things going on down there. Bad things. And you can't produce, the proper, viral, what do you call them? Antibodies, for your body to reject, sicknesses and whatnot. You need to have a probiotic, and I use sauerkraut, and I just take a big spoonful every day. Gone. Just like Popeye, the Sailor Man, right? And it's really, really sour, the stuff that I've got upstairs, but boy, it makes a difference. Never before have I had a cold that has gone away so quickly. And, maybe that's a coincidence. Maybe I just wasn't, didn't get that sick. Maybe I was already had antibody. I don't know. But you do what you can to make sure that, vitamin C, lots of water, lots of rest, and a probiotic, sauerkraut, boost your immune system. And, what else is there? Vinegar, apple cider vinegar. The real stuff, not the clear stuff that you buy. The real stuff with the mother. Apple cider vinegar and a little bit of water. Cinnamon maybe, something flavor in there. Drink it. Boom. Bob's your uncle. All right. I'm due for a motion lotion break. Cheers. I have to say, that Black Rock Pilsner is a very nice, clean, I guess what you would call a lawnmower beer, I suppose. Although right now we're not cutting any grass where I am. We've got some snow coming. I think we're going to have a big, big snowstorm. Excuse me. And so maybe it's a snowblower beer. You go out there for half an hour, do that thing, and you come in, Get yourself a nice cold Pilsner. So Black Rock Pilsner, boom. I like it. I will do it again. Probably more close to summertime, but you know, if you want to brew it right now, and then you could lager it, or you could just let it age for months, you know, like February, March, April, May, June, a couple months, few months, you got the best gosh darn Pilsner you're ever going to have, you know, from a kit. If you let it age for that long, it'll be nice and clear too. I don't know what else, you know, we've got here this week, because, you know, I just really haven't been thinking about brewing a lot because I've been pretty sick. So I know you guys get bored of me talking about t-shirts. tgtshirts.com. That's it. tgtshirts.com. You know what the shirts do for me when you buy them? They help me pay for things like this microphone, which I paid for from the shirts. They help me pay for a new camera if I need one. This camera's pretty old. It's getting old, right? It might, something, you know, who knows? And just stuff like that. Beer supplies, stuff like that. When you do that for me, plus when you wear it out in public, or when you wear it on Facebook, or, you know, YouTube, or, you know, on a cast, if you are a broadcaster on Vaughn Live, if you wear that shirt, what does it do? It helps me. And if that's what you think you need to do, then I'm happy. I don't have a problem with that whatsoever. So new designs are in the works. I think we're doing like a Craig's Dungeon t-shirt. Oh boy, you know what that means? I'm going to have to make sure I keep up on my Craig's Dungeon videos, because otherwise no one will buy the shirts if I don't make it a thing, right? So that's how that works. So stay tuned, and thank you guys so much for your support. I really appreciate it. Getting ready for some rest. Cheers. God, you could get messed up on this stuff. It's so clean, unobtrusive. Unobtrusive, is that a word? I think that's the right term. You know, the funny thing is, because I don't take medication when I'm sick. I don't take, you know, I don't know what the hell this, I don't even know what their names are. I don't take medication when I'm sick because it slows down the recovery process. When you suppress the symptoms, you suppress the recovery mechanism that your body's trying to do. You need the runny nose, you need the cough, you need the symptoms to get over the sickness. I don't take, unless it's absolutely necessary. Like if I can't sleep because I'm congested or something, then I will. But other than that, excuse me, I let it run its course. And it can be rough, but it gets over with quicker. And you know, I was talking to my mom many years ago, just to cap this video off, this little short story. And I was sick, and I had a pretty bad cold, and you know, I didn't drink anything for like 5 days, 6 days. This cold kept going on and on as it never ended, you know, it just wouldn't go away. And I was talking to my mom, I said, Mom, geez, I'm getting frustrated. Like, you know, I'm 6 days in here and I can't drink any beer because I'm sick. I'm, you know, she says to me, she says, well, you know, you're supposed to force fluids when you're sick. So I have a fluid and I'm forcing it. And you know what? Actually, the true part of that story, it's all true, but the end of that story is that I did drink that night when she said that to me. And the next day I woke up and the damn thing was pretty much gone. Now, I'm not saying alcohol helps your colds. But, you know, a hot toddy in a miserable night when you're feeling crappy, if you know how to make a hot toddy, I think I've talked about this before, does wonders. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a pharmacist, but you need to make your own decision. Next time you're feeling really shitty and you're sick, try a hot toddy or just have a couple of beers. Drink lots of water, see what happens. All right. That's up to you. Anyway, guys, I'm out. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Click that little bell beside the subscribe button to make sure you get notified when I post a video. Thumb up the video if you like it, because that helps me too. Or thumb it down if you don't like it. That helps me too. Okay, it does, believe it or not. I know how YouTube works. And any interaction with the video, including posting comments down below, helps me get higher rankings on YouTube and my videos get out there. So thank you so much. All right, guys, cheers. Be safe. 17.